deal. Well, welcome everybody, and congratulations to Amy and crew for pulling this off, and thank you, Layman's, for sponsoring. Sponsoring me to be able to be here and to share with you today. And thank you for, you know what you need to thank you about is that in our frenetic, hurried, harried lives, all of us here took time to just come and enjoy craft, artisanship, the soil. That's a good thing. We could almost call this an agrarian Sabbath. How's that? So, what is a homesteader? We've got it's a conjunctive word, home and steader. Home, of course, is pretty obvious. It's where we live. And steader is, of course, a kind of an old Latin conglomeration that talks about your focus. Instead. And so it's about where your heart is. So a homesteader is a person whose heart and whose focus is in the home. It's a person whose life focus is toward living, staying, loving home, which is a far cry from everything else in our society, which is obsessed with everything out there. And there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, you can't go, if you go by the supermarket and look at the tabloid section, there's a lot of distractions in our life. And so what I'd like to do is go through kind of a bullet point list of things that I think that we as homesteaders are passionate, we could say obsessed about, that are completely different than all those people out there. It's great to see this size gathering here in Warrenton. I mean, this is just super. And what's amazing to me is how many of you came not from Warrenton. This is normal. We do all these apprentices and interns at our farm, and people say, where do they come from, the county? I said, no. In 22 years, we've only had one from our county. You got to put on a suit coat and get a briefcase and go 500 miles away from home before anybody will listen to you. That's the same way here. There are probably way more people from outside of Fauquier County than there are from inside Fauquier County. And Fauquier County is a big county. So, as homesteaders, I think, first of all, we are obsessed with wellness rather than sickness. A functional immune system for ourselves, our plants, our animals is far more important to us than dwelling on sicknesses and diseases that surround us. Every day I get emails from people around the world. I've got a sick chicken, I've got a sick cow, I've got this, that, and the other. They want me to something like email a vet kind of thing. And in my books, I've been very upfront. I don't have big sections about diseases. We don't have diseases. I was on a farm in the Netherlands 2 weeks ago. I went to visit a state-of-the-art. National Geographic just ran a big article about Netherlands feeding the world. It's the world's number 2 exporter of food in the world. They have a big section there, just kind of northwest of Amsterdam. That's one of the only places that you can see with the naked eye from the moon. And what it is the glass house farming region. And they farm with LED lights. And I even talked to one guy. He has a 20-acre farm, and he takes in $35 million a year on his 20-acre farm. And he does it all under 92% blue lights. It's microgreens, hydroponic microgreens. And he travels the world to the tropics and finds exotic plants, brings the seeds home and plants these and air freights them around the world on the top of hydroponic tomatoes from the Netherlands. If you fill an airplane tote, if you fill an airplane tote, I learned a bunch of stuff here a couple weeks ago, so this is cool. If you fill an airplane tote with tomatoes, they crush, okay? So you can't fill them all the way up and they get too heavy. So what he does, he piggybacks his microgreens on the top of the totes and gets them basically shipped for free. The tomato growers pay for everything. And anyway, he's learned that if you use pink lights, the plants will grow way, way faster. But if you use only pink, they grow so fast that the cells burst. They just explode. The microgreens explode. So you cool it down with blue lights, and not 91%, not 93%, but 92% pink and 8% blue gives you exactly the right mix of lights to get the most exponentially fast growth right before the cells explode. Next little item, we're jazzed and obsessed about domestic culinary arts rather than corporatized processed food. We use our kitchens. Never has a culture been spent more remodeling and techno-glitzifying their kitchens than ours and been more dysfunctional in them. 50 years, do you know that 50 years ago, you couldn't go to the supermarket and buy a boneless, skinless breast of chicken. If you wanted a boneless, skinless breast, you had to go get a chicken. And you had to take a knife and a cutting board, and you cut the breast out, and then the residue was casserole and, stew and, right? Today, half of our customers don't even know that a chicken has bones. I mean, they think we go out to the boneless, skinless breast tree, like they're out there just kind of, going around and like manna, and we're just picking this stuff off the ground, these boneless, skinless, it's unbelievable. I mean, we have to explain to people that chicken, boneless chicken in the form of Nino's the dinosaur is not a muscle group on a chicken. You have to explain that to people. And we know what we want to do is use our kitchens to process, package, preserve, and prepare our foods, what I call domestic culinary arts. We know we can't have an integrity food system as a culture when so many people have abdicated any relationship with their kitchens and know so little about anything they're eating. I was doing a 2-day sustainability summit at a school in Atlanta a couple of years ago, and I had this 200 8th graders in this big assembly room. And I thought I would try an experiment. So these were sharp kids, so I said, let me ask you a question. I said, who here, and there's 200 8th graders, all right, so 8th graders, that'd be like, 14-year-olds, okay? I said, who here can give me 3 vegetables that you can grow even when it frosts? Even if it frosts, it won't hurt them. Whole room just quiet. Nothing. Finally, one little timid guy raised his hand over here. I said, yeah. I said, what you got? He said, lettuce. Good. Sharp. How about, I want 3. Anybody got another one? Another guy, raised his hand over here. Broccoli. Good. Okay, all right. How about another one? Everything was quiet. Little girl sitting, kind of down here in front said, beets. Yeah, good. Yeah, chicken, she says, chicken. Vegetables, yeah. Love it. Okay. So we got beets. All right. I said, well, okay, maybe that was too hard. Maybe the flip side of it would be better. Maybe if I asked, who could give me 3 vegetables that don't survive frost? That you better wait till frost is gone before you plant them. I mean, that's kind of an important thing. If you're going to plant your food, you don't want to plant it when frost is going to kill it. Same thing. Dead silence. Nothing. The same three. I think they three had, gardens at home. Corn, yeah, good. Sweet potatoes, good. Tomatoes, good. All right. Chicken, no chicken at all. Okay. So I had these I had to just pull this out of these 200 14-year-olds just to pull this, drag it out, and they were all just, deer in the headlights. Let's see, where's this guy going? I said, okay, now here's my third question. This will be my last one. Who can tell me the names of the Kardashian girls? The whole room, Kim, Carmen, Chloe, it took me 5 minutes to get them quieted down. And I asked him, I said, so, let me ask you something. In life, which of those pieces of information do you think would be more important in life? The whole room got quiet. They knew they'd been had. They had hung themselves. See, wouldn't it be cool if whether or not somebody grew their own food garnered as much press and excitement as whether somebody stands for the national anthem at a football game? I mean, can you imagine a society that says, oh, she doesn't have a garden? Well, phooey on her. Wouldn't that be a different thing? Okay? Now, I don't want to get head over into the deep weeds here. But really, again, what I'm talking about is our world, folks, our world, we're just a different tribe. And that's a good thing. In fact, we're the only normal ones out there. We're the only reasonable ones out there. They all click, And that's the point. You can't Google experience. At the end of the day, we want kids who can grow tomatoes. Who cares if they're the top points getter on Angry Birds? I want to go into life with a kid next to me who knows how to grow a tomato. A kid who knows the world does not just exist at the end of a button or a joystick, that life and death are real, and that we're in it for all the marbles. Does that mean I can't have fun and can't have joke and have a good time? No, indeed. I mean, if you've ever thrown cut tomatoes at each other, tomatoes. Well, okay, tomatoes. But I was thinking potatoes. Potatoes throw a lot better. You're going to have a lot of fun. You fall into the edge of the pond and come home covered with algae. That's fun. Okay? But it's true that nature is abundant. I mean, on our farm, we came in 1961. I was 4 years old. I was just four. And I can remember as a child walking the farm and never setting foot on a piece of vegetation. It was that sparse in anything green. In fact, there was so little soil, Dad had to pour concrete in. He went to the town and got used car tires, poured concrete in them, pushed a half-inch pipe, one straight up and down and one on a little bit of an angle. My brother was 3 years old, we were little kids. He'd pile these concrete tires on a tractor platform and then drive real slow down through the field. And my brother and I could get on the edge of this and we could kind of, heave these off. And then Dad would go along and stick electric fence stakes in them. We didn't have enough soil to hold up electric fence stakes. Okay? And I've never met anybody that started from that point. Now, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just telling you, we had 16 foot. Our deepest gully was 16 feet. We measured it from the rim down to the bottom. 16 feet gully. You know how much dirt that is to create a 16-foot deep gully from the rim to the bottom? Now, all these areas the size of this room that were solid shale rock, 50 years ago, now have 12 inches of soil on them. Okay? That is a testament to nature's desire for abundance, for healing,
in our knowledge, our experience, and our sharing. And we can bring that to our communities and ultimately serve our communities. And that's how we will see the homesteader movement continue to make progress. And we will offer those answers in a frenzied, frantic, harried, hurried culture that doesn't have time to sit and think about the earthworm, about the frog, about our own microbiome. We have those answers. They are reposited in us. Let us be good stewards and be faithful of being the alternative obsessives in our culture that are passionate about true healing in all of its aspects.